All right, we will call the meeting to order. Jen, take roll.
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Waldner?
Here.
Commissioner Abraham?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here. You have attached the minutes from January 12th, because we were not in session on the 19th. Any questions, comments? Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have before you tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. You have attached the December investment report, gross salaries, and bills for ratification.
I would make a motion to acknowledge the December investment report, gross salaries, and bills for ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Chad is right here. Just debating on whether or not we should just move right on into the hearing of application, even though there's 2 more minutes to go. I don't know if there's anyone.
I've got 5:35 actually.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right, we're going to move right on into that. Hearing upon the application for the sale of alcoholic beverages, the temporary alcohol license to the DSU Foundation. Anyone here that has anything to speak to, or questions or comments on it?
It's usually a pretty good time.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah?
February 6th for their gala.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make
So-
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under new business, Resolution 2015-1, outlining the prior agreements and future intentions related to a combined lighting system along South Dakota DOT Highway 34. And Chad, do you want to speak to this?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Your Honor. During the course of the preliminary design inspection for the Washington Avenue portion of the reconstruction of Highway 34, the discussion was, the lighting was discussed on a section of roadway that the commission had requested previously of the DOT to install lighting on. And there was some follow-up, and then the South Dakota DOT got back to me, and this resolution is a result of some of those discussions, and I'll elaborate. Basically, if I can go through, I'll kind of walk through the resolution. I'd worked with Jen and others to write this, but basically in 2008, the City Commission passed a resolution requesting of the DOT to install lighting from what's commonly referred to as the Prostrello corner, the intersection of Washington Avenue and 10th Street South, to the city limits. At that time, the policy of the DOT was that the local jurisdiction, if the request is favorably received, would have to pay 20%. The commission still made the request with that knowledge. However, the DOT, for various reasons, did not approve that request. That's the first paragraph here. The second paragraph, in about 2012, the city had coordinated with the South Dakota DOT for the extension of the Highway 19 rec trail from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service office down south about, I don't know the distance off the top of my head, but the reason I bring that up is because within that agreement that dealt with the rec trail, there was also a couple clauses about lighting, and which required that the city will accomplish some minor maintenance on the lighting system that is currently being installed at that intersection of Highway 34 and 19, essentially to replace bulbs. The DOT didn't want to have a contractor come up from Sioux Falls every time to replace a bulb. That's all that the maintenance was. However, there was also a clause that said if this was ever connected to, that lighting was ever annexed into the city or connected to a city lighting project, that the city would take over maintenance. I'll leave it at that, and the agreement can speak for itself. And then, the second paragraph is that the DOT had approached the city, and after we had talked, after the preliminary design inspection I mentioned for Washington Avenue, and they had indicated that, yes, they indeed would be willing to put in the lighting as requested in 2008, but furthermore, they would like to install the lighting all the way to the lighting that's currently being installed at 34 and 19, and they would like for the city to take over maintenance of that lighting. And so that's, at that time, we discussed, well, how does the DOT want this to be memorialized, if you will, or known, because there wouldn't be an agreement related to this until near the 2019 project, when this work would be completed. And so it was thought that perhaps a resolution laying all the details out, some of the history, because various different parties could pick this up and be able to understand it in the future. So then that gets into the other points of the resolution that basically says, yes, indeed, the city would be interested in having the DOT install this lighting. They would take over the maintenance. They would like them to confer with them about the details of the lighting, including the costs going forward. Furthermore, the next number 2 bullet paragraph indicates that taking the lead from a prior decision late in 2014 from the City Commission to install LED lighting, it was incorporated into here that the city would request LED lighting along this stretch. And if the DOT policy at the time of installation is still that the local jurisdiction has to pay for the cost difference, we would do that. However, it does also say that if the policy from the DOT at the time is that LED is their standard, the city would not pay any more for that. There's indications and likelihood that LED may be their standard at the time, so that would be a good thing. The third bullet point basically deals with the lighting currently being installed at Highway 19 and 34. Basically says that that lighting system will be converted and connected to this new lighting, including the power source. And it'd be converted to LED at the city cost, but then the power source conversion would be not at the city costs. That's what this says. And then the last bullet point talks about how this eventually would be combined into an agreement, basically the standard agreement, if you will, that the state uses when there's a road project such as this, and that will continue to work together towards this end. If this is the commission's desire, they think this is satisfactory, we would share this resolution with DOT and say this is our intentions. And they would modify their work order with their consultant to include this work with some of these subsequent steps taking place as described in here. I have consulted with Dennis Poppin on this, and he agrees with this. Thinks it's a good choice. And also given the fact that the city commission had requested it in 2008, now I understand it's a different commission, thought it seemed also reasonable that this is the direction the commission would like to go. And then also the DOT has previewed this resolution, and they think this will satisfy their needs as well. So, and I'd be happy to try to answer any other questions.
Since they're just in the initial stages out there, and that if we put this together now, is there a possibility that they would start that project and make it contiguous rather than be an attachment later? Or that hasn't been discussed?
No, they would not be able to install, amend the current
Okay.
Highway 19 project to add this. That'd be quite a change,
Okay.
but they did think they would be able to put it into the
2019.
The 19 project.
Very good.
Would you envision it being poles down the center in the boulevard or off either side?
I would envision it being in the center. If you probably already been up near the intersection of 19 and 34, noticed that there's a couple in the center already. So I would fully envision that it'd be similar.
I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah. Gonna be great for the city, for safety, and
Yes.
it's a great way to come into town in the evening if it's lit up.
We've also had some preliminary discussions with Sioux Valley Energy about this, as this is in their service territory. So I don't think that will be a hard thing to work out, but that would ultimately have to be worked out, but it's plenty early, and so the person I talked to there today had indicated they're passing it up the line, and we'll report to you any necessary items necessary to work out those details. It'll perhaps perhaps a service territory exemption, like we've done in other areas as well, just for the lighting purposes.
So this would just be the portion from John Deere to the 19 corner?
Correct, because that's out of our service, that's outside of city limits, which happens to be also outside of our service territory.
But they would have to bring power in from where, or they're probably bringing power into the corner now.
They are bringing it into the corner now, whether or not that would, the power source needs would change with the additional lights. That remains to be seen, but, right. Bringing it from their shop site right now, essentially. Dennis and I talked to, we'd probably much prefer to just serve it all from the city, make it one continuous system, serve it from us, so.
Hey, any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2015-1, outline prior agreements and future intentions related to a combined lighting system along SD DOT Highway 34.
Second.
Hey, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Very good. Number 2, approve specifications and set a bid date, bid number 832, for sidewalk improvement project 2015-1, of which you have in front of you.
This is
Jen?
what I would refer to as our annual sidewalk project, and it's the intention for the work under this project to complete any non-finished work by landowners for the inspection repairs for the inspections that were accomplished in the spring of 2014, which we asked the landowners to be complete by July 15th of 2015, and it also would complete any outstanding work from landowners for the selected routes by the recommended from the sidewalk committee to the commission, and the commission passed some resolutions related to that maybe about a month and a half ago. We would look to bid this on February 11th at 1:30, and there's, if there's any slight tweaks to the specs that you see, I know there was one or two that you pointed out, a few typos, we'll fix those before we send them out, but I would recommend that this be advertised for bids.
Very good. Questions or comments from anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve specifications and set bid date for
February 11th.
February 11th,
At 1:30.
2015. Bid number 832, sidewalk improvement project 2015-1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental contract. Jen, I'll ask you to address this one.
A new intergovernmental contract from the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, simply due to the change in administration. You will remember that Kagan Benefits has been their administrator for many, many years. They pulled those services in-house as of January 1st. This new agreement simply reflects those changes. David has reviewed, you may have seen that the county passed theirs last week sometime too. Questions?
I would make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental contract with the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance for the
Second.
risk pool.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 4, recommend approval to the Solid Waste Planning Board for Gary Gagnon. Fred, would you want to address this one briefly?
Yes, I got a call and an email a couple weeks back from Sioux Falls, Kurt Luger is down there, and he basically, they had reviewed Ken Harmdrick's petition. They would prefer that they don't have another hauler on the board. Kind of skews the setup of their board down there. They would prefer someone from the city itself. So I talked with Gary, and he's volunteered to actually go on that board for us for the next 3 years. So it's not a problem. Nothing against Mr. Honderks, it was just the fact that he's a hauler, and they have enough hauler representation on the board currently, so they needed a municipal representative, and so Gary stepped up.
Hmm? Very good.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval to the Solid Waste Planning Board. Mr. Gary Gagnon.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve the application for a commercial hauler license of solid waste to Bud's Cleanup Service. Jen, would you want to address that at all?
Sure. As per ordinance, we simply do this once every year, beginning of the year. All paperwork is in order, the small fee has been paid, good to go. No other comment.
I would make a motion to approve the application for commercial hauler license for Bud's Cleanup.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve the application for the taxi cab license to the Madison Taxi Service. And again, Jen, I'll ask you if you want to speak to this.
And the same is true here. We do these annually. Mr. Duffy has brought in his application, all is in order here also.
I'll make a motion to approve application for taxi cab license, Madison Taxi Service.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Declare as surplus property and appoint praisers for scrap wire. Fred, would you want to address this one?
Scrap wire is probably going to be.
It's been Dennis, and Dennis is not here.
And it's the same.
It's
as
basically-
keeping the piles smaller so
Yep.
that we don't have to go through the bid process. About $450
Yep.
is what we're looking at again.
Yep. And.
More of the removed wire from this summer's installation project.
Yes.
Aluminum and copper, so
Yep.
copper mixed in there.
I would make a motion to declare as surplus property the wire that they took down and appoint appraisers being Jeremiah Corbin, Dennis Poppin, and Chad Comas.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have attached bills for approval.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have attached bills for ratification.
Make a motion that we ratify the bills as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have attached some personnel adjustments.
There's a lot
Mr.
of
Mayor,
them.
I
Yeah,
need
some.
to abstain on this one tonight, so.
Jeremiah?
I'll
or
make a
Mike?
motion to approve personnel.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and note one abstention. Under announcements and other business, notice of vacancy, 2 commissioners, petition circulation and filing. And Jen, I'll ask you if you want to address that.
Yep. 2 commission seats open in our April election, Commissioner Waldron, Commissioner Abraham. Nominating petitions can be taken out from our office, off the website, off of our website, off of the Secretary of State website, as of January 30th. Must be returned to my office the 27th of February by 5 p.m.
Any questions or comments? Okay, no motion is necessary on this. It's basically just informing the public and that of the normal course of events and that when the election time rolls around. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I have one announcement.
Okay, Fred?
2 weeks ago, at the South Dakota Rural Water Systems Conference, Technical Conference in Pierre, our admin assistant, Roxy Ebdrup, was actually named the Municipal Office Person of the Year, 40th Annual Conference. So I just wanted to get that out there, everybody. I think she does a great job. the award is well deserved.
I heard
Yeah.
she was the first municipal one
The
ever.
very first one, yeah, we actually set a new category for South Dakota Rural Water, actually 3, wasn't it? We had municipal manager
Yeah,
of the
we
year,
established the new
operator of the
municipal
year, and
ones.
admin, or office person of the year. Yep,
No, and it was a very good conference.
yep.
Great
Very good.
conference.
It was.
It was a great conference. Yep.
Even if there was a chicken roaming around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know where the chicken came from.
that was weird.
All right, thank you, Fred. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay, we are adjourned.
Chad, do you want all this stuff back?
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
We got 'em.